presentation you will find also in the conference
Yeah,
screens,
yeah.
and it will be showed.
But can we keep it here when Dmitri is speaking?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I click here.
Yeah.
Okay.
The green one.
Yeah. Then it starts my presentation. Okay.
Right, Good morning. Can you hear me? Perfect, thank you. Good morning, my name is Dmitri. I'm Technical Director with TXOne Networks in Europe. We are in the industrial cybersecurity business. From our threat research teams, we've seen the discovery of largest number of cybersecurity attacks on the industrial sector last year. And the bad guys have no intent to stop. World Economic Forum predicted cyber attacks on the industrial sector to be one of the top global risks in 2023, next to the energy crisis, food supply crisis, and high cost of living. So we've seen attacks on vital sectors, healthcare, services disruption, attacks on retail, power grids, water purifying facilities. And the bad guys have no intent to stop. So why it's happening and who's doing this? So the majority of attacks come from cyber criminal gangs. So they want to extort money by attacking and disabling operationally critical assets and networks. But with the geopolitical tension we've seen last year, also the rise of state-sponsored attacks. So those guys are not motivated by money, but motivated by their superiors to attack the military targets in the enemy states. So what can we do about it, and how can we protect ourselves and keep operations running? Well, OT cybersecurity is a pretty difficult task. It was underfunded for many years, and it lacks the breadth and the maturity of the IT security that we have. So OT security was all about air gap. We pretended that it's disconnected, that IT threats are not relevant and not going to be relevant in the future as well. And then guess what? 2017, when WannaCry hit a lot of industrial and operational assets, we realized that's not true. And yet, IT-OT conversions happened a while ago, but we just neglected that. So how can we protect ourselves? Because OT technology is different than IT. Majority of them legacy systems, disconnected networks. So how can we do that? At TXOne Networks, we provide technology and products which help to keep operations running by protecting industrial assets. And we also work together with industrial automation vendors, because these are the guys who provide applications and they have specific protocols that fuel our operations. So I'm really happy to it's my honor to invite Product Manager Cybersecurity, Rajamäki from Valmet on the stage.
Thanks, Dmitri. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Dmitri. Thanks, TXOne, for this opportunity to be on stage for me and Valmet to present what we are doing and helping customers for managing the cyber security risks. My name is Rajamäki, Product Manager for Cyber Security Services. I come from Finland, Tampere, and I'm working for Valmet and Valmet Automation business line, Automation System business line as more specific. So we are vendor, automation vendor. I've been working for OT industry now about 10 years, from which half of like 5 years with the cybersecurity related topics with the customer, with the developers, with our teams and also partners. So it's been changing quite heavily and fast. The cybersecurity things, awareness is better. And this is why we are also in here together with the TXOne. So we are automation vendor. I will tell more about who we are, what we are doing for this, but why we are partnering and why we are here with the TXOne is the reason that we are automation vendor. We have process automation expertise. We are developing automation systems, but we are not the cybersecurity experts. So we need to have strong partners to be able to provide the technology, the know-how for the cybersecurity. And TXOne is one good solution for us to do this. They are providing a full technology stack for us, where we can build the cybersecurity protection for our customers. So we have different technologies designed and developed for the OT specific software and protocols. So this is good match for us. So we can rely on the technology, threat intel, what TXOne is providing, because we need also the service work and the updates, constantly updates. So it's not technology that we need. We need to have the intelligence and updates to the systems. So who is Valmet? So Valmet is a global player, global developer, supplier of process technologies and automation and services. So we are providing automation and services for globally, for different industries like pulp and paper and energy sectors. We have more than 17,000 professionals globally helping our customers to get the best possible performance every day. So we have local support globally everywhere. We have more than 225 years industry experience, so we have been OT player quite a long time. So we know the automation, we know the processes. We have been doing that quite long. How big we are? With the company merge from the flow control company called Neles with the Valmet, together the net sales in 2021 was over 4.5 billion euros. So we are providing help globally with the experts and the good technology that we are developing. The automation systems that we are building, we are automation vendor. The automation system business line from where I'm coming, they are used in different industries. Pulp and paper is the most known for globally for Valmet, so everybody knows maybe Valmet paper machines and the pulp things that we are doing. But we are also providing same technologies, similar technologies, automation systems to energy sectors, to marine business, and also different process system, process industries, chemical, and like a critical system for water and wastewater systems, clean water and wastewater systems. And when we are thinking about threats and risks and consequences with these different industry segments, they are different. So many times the threats that are coming are the same for most of the industries. Like everybody's nowadays fear of a ransomware attack. That what can be happening, what is the consequences if there's a ransomware making a brick from the industrial control system computers. But there are also always, when we are talking about the risk and consequences in the OT, we are talking about people safety and environmental safety. And with the ransomware, which is most common for all the industries, it can be happen quite fast. So if there is a ransomware hitting to the OT, the critical consequences might happen quite fast. They are not maybe directly coming to the industrial control systems, but as we know, the IT system from where the ransomware might be hitting first, they can find the way to their control system quite fast. Also, for the most cases, what we have seen, it's not actually the control system that is attacked, so it's some kind of IT services that are down and we lose the production or we need to shut down the production. And at this point it means that when the production is down, and if it's down for 1 hour, it's quite expensive. But in the critical system it also means that it might cause some difficulties for energy production, so if you need to shut down the power plants because of the ransomware. So we need to be as a vendor, we need to be ready for providing different solutions for different consequences or risk management capabilities. So ransomware is most common, but there are also these well-funded advisories who are maybe targeting and trying to identify the critical systems, trying to get the access, awareness, recognizing of the critical infrastructure. And those are quite dangerous players and giving their expertise to find a way. So we need to be ready to provide also solutions for be able to protect from the state-sponsored advisories. What Valmet is doing also for when we are in the here IoT World Congress, we are also providing, of course, cloud-side services. So Valmet Industrial Internet is provided also from Valmet side. And what we are doing is, of course, the same thing. So we are providing the digital twins. We are getting more computer capabilities from the cloud side. We get the huge storage of the data from the cloud side. We can more rapidly develop services and applications to the cloud side. So if we need to do new services, new applications, on-premise system, it's quite slow because they are legacy systems. It's not so easy to start installing new computers to the underlying old hardware. So that is why also we are providing cloud-side services and the connectivity from the production to the cloud side. And when we are doing that, we are not anymore from the control systems side, we are not anymore isolated. So we need to be ready also make the integration to the cloud side environment, whether it's applications or IoT device that are managed from the cloud side. We need to make it secure integration. We need to make sure that we don't compromise the OT. We still need to be more isolated. So we don't want to do bad solution so that somebody can recognize the control system from the internet. What kind of applications we are providing from industrial internet is, of course, when we are collecting huge amount of the data from different machines, we are able to provide performance and optimization services with that data that we are collecting. We can use different data in cloud side, enrichment of the data with different sources, and provide the services top of that. We have Valmet performance centers who are utilizing this cloud side data without accessing the industrial control systems. So we have experts that can consume the data and propose improvement for the customer. Customer can also access to the same data, work together with the Valmet expertise. So we have customer portal for these cases. And when we are doing this industrial internet application, cloud-side connectivity, it's only not bad, so there's also good reasons of doing that. There's also good security impact, in my opinion. So when we have the capabilities on cloud, there's a more easy way to add new and modern technologies for protecting the data. So having multi-factor authentication, making sure that the data is kept in safe places. So it's more easy to utilize new technologies, modern security technologies on the cloud side, which we cannot provide on-premise with the legacy systems. So we can do that in the cloud more easily. Second thing, why it's better maybe do things in the internet or in the inside of the cloud, is that we need less remote connections. So quite many times when we are providing remote support or services from the vendors, any vendors for the customers, they need to have remote connection to the industrial control systems. And that is what all customers want to avoid at the moment. So when we have the data in cloud, we don't need to do the remote connection to actual industrial control system. That might be always seen customer that they don't know who is connecting, when they are connecting, and what they are doing. But we don't need to do that if we have the data in cloud. So it's also improved the security in that way. So how we see and what kind of problems customers nowadays have, and what kind of challenges they have, because we are talking about multi-vendor environment. So Valmet is not the only vendor in the production plants. These are the top number problems that they are now trying to manage and solve to mitigate the risks of cyber attacks. So they want to know the remote connection. Are they secure? What kind of connection they are? And we are not talking about anymore only the remote connection that vendor is doing. So doing the remote connection to the industrial control system, that's not the only one. So they want to understand what kind of interconnections we have between the DCS. What kind of IoT devices there are who are trying to reach to the internet. So they want to also understand what connections are open from the control system to the internet. So it's not only the connections that remote support is doing, although it's the main reason why they are tearing down different remote connections. Second thing, of course, what they want to understand is what kind of assets they have. So what are the providers, what kind of versions they are, what software they are running, how old the devices are. Do they know them? Can we see them? That's also how they are now trying to manage. So asset management, detecting the assets, managing the vulnerabilities. So when they have the list of the assets that vendors are providing, they want to know, do we have any vulnerabilities on these softwares? Are they critical? Can somebody exploit it from the internet? So how bad situation that is? So, and they want to integrate something to manage the assets and manage the vulnerabilities. Do the patching when needed. But as we know, it's not so easy always, so we cannot do the patching always. So next thing that they need to think is that how they can protect the system if the patches are not available. So if we are talking about legacy systems that are not anymore supported, they don't have any patches available. Vendor doesn't anymore support, so only solution would be upgrade the system, which might be difficult in the production. So they want to find also ways to protect when the patches are not available or the patching time is not doable. As we know, in the production system, we might patch only once a year. So we shut down, have maintenance break in the plant, and do the patching for every device. Mostly we are talking about, of course, Windows operating systems, but nowadays also all the switches, all the small things should be upgraded. But the problem is that we cannot do that, so we need to have different level of protection also. What they are also thinking heavily is the incident response plans, what they can do on site when they see some kind of possible malicious actions on the network, for example. So if they are monitoring the networks, they see that some kind of bad behavior is happening, how they should react on that. So from where they get the support. And most important, do they have the backup? So if the ransomware have locked the system, do we have backup from every critical system that they have? How long it will take to get it back running? Like I was mentioning the marine business where they are sailing the vessels, there are not so many people on board. And if they need to restore something, it needs to be very fast, it needs to be simple enough that the people who are on the vessel can do it without vendor remoting, because we don't have usually a remote connection during the time they are sailing. So they need to be prepared, and this is also what vendors need to be supporting, giving them answers how they can do it. How we are protecting, as we know, it's multi-layer protection. There are multiple levels that we need to do. It's not only one solution, only one countermeasure that we need to have. So there are a lot of things that we can do to protect the critical infrastructure. Most critical devices, networks in the production plant. So we have corporation policies, we have physical perimeters, we have isolated OT networks from the IT networks. So there's a lot of things that customers can do and vendors can support. There are a lot of customers who are already implementing, following different cybersecurity frameworks, guidelines, and they are requesting vendors like Valmet to follow these. And it's not only for system design or technologies that we are using for protect the system. It's also for making sure that supply chain is secure, the information management during the project deployments, which might be quite a long time, making sure that the information management is done the right way. So how we are, as a vendor, how we are dealing with the customer data when we are designing the system. There are a lot of things in the network level that we can do, and segmentation is number one, what they are usually doing. So we are building, if you know the Purdue model, we are building different segments based on the levels where the systems are running. There are endpoint protection solutions that can be used, protect the endpoints. Nowadays, they are also requesting that development must be secure process. So we need to make sure that when we are buying vendor stuff, we need to be sure that its design and development has been done secure way. And the life cycle is managed. So if there is a bug, if there is a vulnerability, they get the information and vendor is providing the fix for it. The IoT devices are something that are usually breaking through the layers when it's done in a bad way. So cloud-managed IoT devices might be inserted or integrated in the process network, which leads in the situation that we have legacy unprotected endpoints in that network, which can happen that the legacy system get the access to the internet directly, or it will become visible for the internet. And usually these legacy systems in the process network, if they are not yet upgraded, they are quite vulnerable of different easy attacks. There are also cloud-managed endpoint solutions that are breaking through the layers, so ICS is not anymore that much isolated. Endpoint protection must be cloud-managed, so we need to open the firewalls between IT and OT. That usually leads in the situation that different devices can start talk to the IT networks or start talking even to the internet. So network segmentation, limiting the access. So if we need to open the network, we need to limit how they access. So we cannot trust any more assets that if they are able to talk to the internet for DNS request, for example, communicating something to the IT network or the OT, even to the internet services, we should not trust that anymore. So limit the connection if you need to do that. So how we are doing this with the TXOne, together with the TXOne. So with the TXOne portfolio, we can get protection for the assets. We have solution for the endpoint protection, whitelisting the system, all the way from the legacy systems to the new systems. We can provide audits with the tools that TXOne is developing for the OT. We can provide network defense with virtual patching. So when we cannot patch the system, we can virtually patch it with the TXOne devices in the network segment. So we can whitelist the system. So even if the vulnerability exists there, we have the patch, we don't have the time yet installed. During that time, we can protect with the whitelisting or network defense solution. We can utilize also the threat intelligence and extended detection and response capability that Trend Micro has. So if we need to do that, we have the capability. So we get the full stack of capabilities. And we can do that now also for not only one Valmet delivered system, so not only one TCS, so we can provide same technologies for all the production networks, all the vendors' systems, so Valmet can provide that with the services. So we can help customers protect, so if they have multi-vendor environments, we can use TXOne technology to do that. I will stop my presentation here. I will ask Dmitri to come back with me on stage. So in this slide, you can get the latest guidebook from the Valmet Industrial Internet, talking about how cybersecurity is done when we are putting the production online.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Ari. That was really interesting. I took some notes. So I think the key takeaways, very important to have technology in the services in the multi-vendor environment, right? Because we don't have a greenfield usually.
Correct.
So it's a combination of like Valmet technology and some others. So that's one. Second, I think on top of the visibility which is needed, we also need to have protective controls, right?
Yeah, the visibility asset information is important, but we need to be ready also prevent and protect. So yeah.
Exactly, and like virtual patching, so vulnerability patching is difficult. So yeah, and it should be fit for purpose. Industrial form factor, something that doesn't disturb your operations. If it's on network level, it understands the OT protocols of different kind. And we also need to secure the assets. My takeaway personally, so that's really good. And I think you also touched base on a skill shortage. So convergence IT and OT operations, security operations specifically. I think when we are able to embrace OT Zero Trust approach, but also connect IT and OT together, like maybe an XDR platform, and to leverage maybe IT security operations teams to operate OT security. I know it's a little bit strange, so many people will resist, but I think with the technology we can help to get there.
Correct.
So if you have any questions further, because I think we're out of time, almost, but we have 1 minute for questions. So if any question from the audience, would be happy to take. Anyone? No mics? Yeah, there is a question here. Sorry, can you come closer? I don't hear it. No, there is a mic.
Okay, so does Valmet support and offer security services to other vendor networks as well?
Yeah, that's the idea with the technology. Of course, Valmet cannot provide the patching capabilities, so we cannot patch something that we don't understand or have capabilities of verifying and testing the installation. But with the technology whitelisting and virtual patching, we can do that, and we can provide other vendors protection also. Good question.
Yeah, and we're out of time now, 5 seconds left. So we are at 10377. So if you have questions about technology, Valmet approach, please see us there. Thank you so much for your attention today.
Thank you.
Thank you.